Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing, finally, an update on these babies. No, not these babies. These babies. Also, can we just take a moment to RIP to the fairy lights behind me because my dog decided to chew through them. So hopefully I will have my pretty lights back here very soon. If you're new to my channel or you haven't seen my first tape extensions video, I will link that down below. That's where I show you guys all about getting them in. I show the installation process of me getting them in and my first impressions of them. But I have not done a follow-up video on that and explained how I feel about them almost a year later, what advice I have for you guys. And I also wanted to sit down and answer all of your guys' questions that you have left me in the comments of my video and also tweeted to me and stuff. So I have that all on my phone and I'm going to answer all of that in this video. So let's go ahead and get in. I think the most asked question ever about my extensions is how do you put it in a ponytail, or can you put it in a ponytail without your tapes showing? I don't really like wearing my hair up very often, so I just choose not to. But yes, you actually can throw your hair in a ponytail, and I do whenever I go working out and stuff. It can show, and you can also make it not show. You just have to be more strategic. The higher that you put a ponytail, or if you're into top knots, it might be a little difficult, and it's not really recommended that you tug a lot on the hair because the more you tug on it, the more the tape is going to break down faster. But if you're careful with it and you place your hair kind of over the tape while you're putting your hair up and just take caution and just not really tug at it super hard, then it's not going to be an issue at all. Another frequently asked question was, what is the cost to install these tape and extensions? This is going to completely vary, and I can't really give you a good set price because it's going to vary depending on what salon you're going to, what stylist you're going to, and what kind of hair that you're getting, the length, the amount. My best advice is just to call around different salons that have had good, reputable reviews on Yelp or, you know, just on websites, or you like the work that they've done. Look for stylists that have pictures of their extensions before and after on their website. Of course, word of mouth is the best. If you know someone who has gotten tape extensions and you really like how their extensions look, going to get consultations and asking them what their pricing is like, because you don't want to go in there completely blindsided on how much money it is. I got my extensions from Bombay or Bombay Hair, but I know there's a ton of great websites that have hair. I know a lot of my friends get great length, but sometimes you may get a discount if you buy it through your stylist. So I just recommend going to check it out. Just keep in mind that it is going to be pricey right up front when you first get the hair and then are getting them put in, especially if you get it through your hairstylist. It's probably going to be like over $500, I'm just assuming. I know salons back at home, I remember them being between $500 and $1,000 at first with the hair. But then every time that you get them readjusted, which is depending on how fast your hair grows, are they the safest kind of hair extension? I think what you mean by that is if they're the least damaging to your hair, and I think that they are one of the least damaging to your hair. Yes, clip-in extensions might be the least damaging if you're only wearing them for a really short amount of time. But for me, my clip-ins were actually becoming more damaging on my hair because I was wearing them constantly, like from day to night, and by the end of the day, my head was just hurting so badly because it was just tugging so hard on them and they were really heavy. And then also they'd be like caught on things, and I just remember it being just really heavy and distressing on my scalp that I would get headaches, and I ended up losing some hair because of that. So my hair was literally thinning because of my clip-ins, and so that's the thing I really liked about tape, is that it's not very invasive. There's no heat or like strong chemicals that need to be used to put them in, so it's definitely the least damaging in that sense because it is only tape that's going on your hair. Another question I was asked is, can you easily brush through it without your tape getting stuck? Yes, you can, because the tape is up near your scalp, so all you just have to do is make sure that you're careful when brushing your hair. I actually have the hairbrush that I use over here. It has some hair in it, so I apologize, but I use the wet brush even when my hair is not wet for most of the time, just because it is pretty gentle. So I'll just start on the bottom of my hair and then just gently brush up, and I'll never go like up top where my tape is. I'll go right beneath it, but when I am, I'm just kind of like softly brushing through my hair, and that way it's just not going to tug super hard on my hair. So that might be something you have to get used to if you're pretty rough on your hair and just like to run a hairbrush through it. So just make sure that you are nice and calm, just take a step back. I was also asked if these are the same hair extensions that I got in my last tape extensions video, which was about a year ago, and no, these are actually a different set of hair than I had in that video. And the only reason I got new hair is because I was tired of just being brunette and I wanted a change, so I decided to get some blonde hair extensions. Now I'm also asked if you can dye your extensions. And this is something that I learned and I almost fucked up so badly. So I just want to make sure that none of you guys do that. So if you have tape extensions, or if you're going to get them and you're thinking of dyeing your hair, just make sure that you take the right steps, because I almost did this so horribly wrong. So let me just take you back to the summer. Now I decided I wanted to go ombre is what I thought I would do. So I'm used to dyeing my own hair. Me and Sarah Belle love to dye our own hair with just a box because we're cheap. Thankfully I had some sense come over me and I was like, is this okay to do with tape and extensions? Like, can I just dye them like my normal hair? So I ended up texting my stylist and she was like, do not do it. What I found out was that in order for you to dye your tape and extensions, you have to buy them really light and then you can dye them darker, but you can't dye tape and extensions lighter. This didn't happen to my stylist, but she told me that she witnessed someone getting their tape and extensions dyed lighter and it literally just shriveled up and just like fell off. So I did not want that to happen to me, so I decided to get all new hair. So if you're planning on ever getting your extensions dyed, then make sure you go lighter. So I actually got a new set of hair extensions and I got them longer. So these are the 22 inches. Before I had the 20 inches and then we had also cut them a little bit just because my normal hair wasn't that long, so it looked kind of weird. So they were quite a bit shorter, but these ones are a lot longer and I got them in the dirty blonde shade. And then what we did is we just kind of dyed them darker gradually so that it kind of looked like balayage. But I love how it turned out so much, so I'm so happy with my hair. But I can actually dye these darker if I want to at some point, but I do like how it looks right now, so I'm gonna keep it like this. But I think the future I might go a little bit darker. Do they still feel like new? Yes, they do, but also I have gotten new extensions recently. I got these ones put in November, which it is now February, but beforehand I had my other extensions in from the end of March all the way until November, so I've had them for quite a while. And they would definitely have lasted longer if I decided that I wanted to keep using that hair, but just because I wanted longer hair and also dyed hair, then I kind of had no choice but to get new hair. But yes, they were definitely in great condition still. I mean, you guys can go back and look at my videos. Like, don't be fooled and get super, you know, cheap hair extensions, because they definitely won't last as long and you're still gonna have to pay a lot of money to get them put in and everything. So my best advice is just to go and invest in your hair, and then it's gonna last you a long time. I'm pretty sure you can reuse your hair up to a year if you take good care of it. Another question I got was, what's the difference between tape extensions and keratin hair extensions? Tape and extensions are going to be a cheaper alternative to keratin. Keratin is where they bond the extensions to like individual parts of your hair. It's also going to take a lot less time to put them in. I know my first time getting them put in, it literally took like 15 minutes. It was super fast. But then once you get them like reinstalled, that's when it takes longer, because they have to take them out and then put a new adhesive on and then put them back in your hair. But you can also split that up into 2 appointments. It's less money and it's less intrusive on your hair. If you are someone who wears your hair up a lot, you might want to think about keratin hair extensions versus tape, because like I said, it can show if you're not super careful, and even if you are super careful, it's going to be harder to conceal them than it would be with just bonds. But you can definitely see like bonded hair extensions up close. It's like kind of like beaded glue almost. It looks like little hot glue is like all over someone's hair, if you've ever seen that. It's definitely like obvious, but from farther away you can't really tell with keratin hair extensions, and you have a lot more freedom. How often can you wash your hair? You can wash your hair as much as you do now. Nothing has changed in my shower routine. The only thing that was difficult at first was to get used to there being something on my hair, which was so weird. Can you swim in salt water and chlorine? Yes, I have actually been to the Bahamas and Punta Cana now, and Florida, and in some pools with my tape and extensions, and it's been completely fine. I haven't really like gone like deep sea diving or anything with my hair extensions, but I tend to just like throw it in a braid anyway, so that it's kind of just like all in one place and that it can't like move around as much, you know what I mean? The last question is, do they hurt and pull on your head? No, which is something that I really like, as I mentioned, compared to clip-ins. Like, clip-ins ended up hurting my hair a lot near the end of the day, and I would actually get headaches because I wore them so much, but these ones actually don't. Like, I can't feel them at all on my head, which is really nice. So that's it for most of your guys' questions that I'm going to answer, and then I did just want to throw in a couple of extra tips that I have learned from the year of having my extensions. So the one thing I just want to stress is that you don't want to put them in yourself. But please don't fall into that trap, because it is not going to last you very long. And I've seen some of those tutorials and people are actually like bonding them with a straightener, and that's not anything that you want to do because tape and extensions actually lose their adhesive when you add heat to it. So you just want to keep your straightener away from the heat as much as possible, and that's something that I have learned. As long as I'm careful when straightening my hair or curling my hair not to like grab onto the tape, which sometimes I can do if it grows out long enough, then I just kind of forget that tape is there. Research a bunch of salons and specifically extension stylists. Make sure it's in your price range and that it's good quality and that they have some testimonials online or before and after so that you go to a reputable source. You don't have to get new hair every time. I know I've gotten questions about that. You can keep your hair for as long as you take care of it, and don't be afraid to go longer without reinstalling your hair than what your stylist suggests, because I know I've gone to a couple of stylists that suggests that I get my hair put in like every 5 weeks, and for me personally, I just don't feel the need to get my hair reinstalled every 5 weeks because I can still go longer than that without it really bothering me. Just go as long as you can. So I think those are all the questions and advice that I wanted to give you guys, but if you guys have any other questions that I did not touch on in this video, be sure to leave me a comment below and I will try to get back to you as fast as I can, because I know getting hair extensions might seem scary to some people. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know, and also subscribe if you guys have not already. Other than that, I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!